Well, so you're not laughing at him. You're laughing at me.
We're not laughing at you, we're laughing with you.
But I'm not laughing.
Then the first one.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst things that were done to Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory.
North and South Pole. If you cut that in half, you have two smaller magnets, each with its own North and South Pole.
For this list, we'll be looking at the times the others pushed Sheldon's buttons, deservingly or not. So much that we actually felt sorry for him. Sheldon's an acquired taste. Did you ever feel bad for him? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. His fears after their home is broken into. After apartment 4A gets robbed, fear takes an overwhelming hold on Sheldon. Unfortunately, his friends aren't all that sympathetic, especially when he turns up in their room late at night.
God, Sheldon! The hell are you doing out there?
I heard a noise.
So he turns to Howard to help install a security system, which ends up backfiring. With no logical alternative, Sheldon concludes that the only reasonable step is to leave Pasadena forever.
Our apartment was broken into. Our security system tried to kill me, and as a result, I'm leaving Pasadena forever. Tell me how that's overreacting.
And his vetting system for choosing his new home is comprehensive. Ultimately, he settles on Bozeman, Montana, but when he doesn't receive the warm welcome he imagined, he comes running home.
One ticket to Pasadena, California, please.
Yes, most of the mishaps are his own doing, but he was truly terrified, so we can't help but feel bad for him. Number 9. Barry Kripke sabotaging his interview. No one loves the sound of their own voice more than Sheldon Cooper.
Now, are we talking date the social interaction or date the dried fruit?
Never mind, what's your announcement?
Oh, good, my turn. Well,
And thanks to his colleague, Barry Kripke, for a short while, everyone else also enjoys hearing his jibber-jabber. First, Kripke spools Sheldon's exciting announcement.
Hey, Cooper, I hear you're gonna be on the radio with Ira Fuedo from Science Friday next week.
thank you, Kripke, for depriving me of the opportunity to share my news with my friends.
My pleasure.
Then he plays a mean prank on him, on national radio no less. Sure, Sheldon can be arrogant and obnoxious, but was it really necessary to disrupt his 15 minutes of fame?
As I was saying, an ordinary magnet has two poles. The primary characteristic of a monopole is that it has only one pole, hence monopole.
It certainly lifted everyone else's spirits, but poor Shelley's left humiliated and distraught, and once again, his friends aren't at all supportive.
Come on, it wasn't that bad.
What do you want?
We represent the Lollipop Guild, and we want you.
Although they do encourage him to get revenge. Of course, things don't go to plan.
Oh, and a hat tip to Leonard Hofstadter and Raj Kuthrapali for their support and encouragement in this enterprise.
But at least he takes everyone down with him. Number 8. His friends lawyering up. There's nothing Sheldon loves more than a contract.
I'll add it right now. Oh, baby, it's addendum time.
But the roommate agreement holds a special place in his heart.
Can I see the roommate agreement?
It's fairly technical.
I think I can handle it.
So, when Priya dissects his beloved contract and turns it against him, he's rather distressed. Worse still, his friends use her skills and savvy to unsettle their friend deliberately.
Greek food on pizza night? This is the most delightfully cruel thing we've done to Sheldon since we left that fake message from Stephen Hawking on his voicemail.
We all know Sheldon can be inflexible and controlling.
According to the document you drew up, Sheldon, the selection of a new takeout restaurant requires public hearings and a 60-day comment period. Were those criteria met?
But wouldn't it have been better to use Priya's lawyerly expertise to rewrite a fairer agreement rather than torment Sheldon? The Greek food situation was just plain mean. Watching Sheldon try and be adaptable as his friends watch on in glee is surprisingly heartbreaking. Luckily, it's nothing a night out with the ladies and a Star Trek reenactment can't fix.
8.
This is ridiculous.
It's a laptop with a full charge. Honestly, what do you see in him?
Okay, give him what he wants, or we're done.
3.
Really?
2.
Okay, I'll sign it.
Number 7. Penny not respecting his boundaries. There's been a lot of speculation over whether Sheldon has autism and/or OCD. Although the creators refuted the former, there's no denying this physicist likes things a certain way and has extremely rigid boundaries.
But the flash drive is in a locked drawer in my desk.
So?
The key is hidden in my room.
So?
Penny would have to go into my room.
So?
People don't go in my room.
Sadly, that's not always respected by his nearest and dearest. For instance, Amy often tries to push their relationship beyond his comfort zone.
What are you doing?
We're playing doctor. Star Trek style.
I'm in hell, Leonard.
And in season 2, Penny isn't very considerate when Sheldon calls her for help after forgetting his flash drive.
Put it back.
Oh, Sheldon, are these letters from your grandmother?
Don't read those letters.
Oh, look, she calls you Moon Pie. That is so cute.
Put down the letters!
He provides strict instructions, all of which she ignores. Penny upsets him further by insisting on calling him Moon Pie.
Hey, yeah, I kind of crossed a line. Put him back on.
Thank you.
I'm back.
What up, Moon Pie?
No one calls me Moon Pie but Meanwhile.
Meanwhile, poor Sheldon's stuck on the train, feeling flustered, inflamed, and helpless. Number 6, having his pants stolen. We've talked a lot about Sheldon's struggles with change, but with so much changing around him, he decides to jump on board.
What can I do?
Leonard, I am overwhelmed. Everything is changing and it's simply too much. I need to get away and think.
His train station tour of America gets cut short when he's robbed of all his possessions, including his pants. Sheldon in pants can be a lot, but Sheldon ranting to strangers in underwear and one sock is a whole new level.
Bosons have integer spin. Fermions have half-integer spin. My legs are getting cold. Why won't anybody help me?
Still, we can't help but feel sorry for him as he desperately seeks help from alarmed passers-by. We also feel for him when even the cops don't show him much sympathy.
God, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I'm wearing borrowed pants. I don't have ID. Yeah, and one of the officers here won't stop calling me chicken legs.
Again, being robbed is an awful enough experience, and although he doesn't make it easy, we wish someone had offered him some compassion. Number 5, Howard's heart-stopping prank. Ah, Sheldon. His friends get him with their Halloween prank, and they get him good.
It is highly unlikely that you two rubes could ever surprise me.
He's probably right.
We can't beat him. He's just too smart.
Gentlemen.
However, this fuels his desire for vengeance. So he spends most of the episode trying to get them back.
The terrifying snake.
Did some bad man put us in a drawer?
Stop talking like that. You've been rendered speechless by fear.
After failed attempts at scaring Leonard and Raj, Sheldon sets his sights on Howard. His plan? To surprise his buddy with a joy buzzer handshake. Only Howard, assisted by Bernadette, is one step ahead of him.
This is adrenaline. We're gonna have to inject it into his heart.
We are?
You are. I'm not strong enough to get it through his chest plate, and we've only got one shot.
You must admit that tricking someone into believing they've caused their friend severe harm is pretty cruel.
Hurry, we're running out of time.
Okay.
Just do it.
Oh, God! 1, 2, 3.
Trick or treat, Bubba.
Even if it results in an epic gotcha moment. To add insult to injury, Sheldon forgets about the buzzer in his hand, resulting in his second shock that night. Number 4, missing out on meeting Stan Lee. No one would call Sheldon an exemplary friend.
You gotta help me, please.
All right, let it never be said that Sheldon Lee Cooper ignored the pleas of a damsel in distress.
No one's saying that. Let's go.
But one of the rare occasions we see him help someone else backfires later on. While his friends head off to get autographs from Stan Lee, Sheldon has to go to traffic court. It seems pretty inconsiderate of Penny to land him in trouble after he came to her aid, don't you think?
I had to drive you to the emergency room.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Penny, I have an eidetic memory. Also, that's a picture of you in the passenger seat holding your dislocated shoulder.
No, it isn't.
We certainly feel for him when his friends recount their exciting day out with the Marvel comic book writer. Penny tries to make it up to him, but he lands in hot water again. Although this time it was kinda his fault.
Do you think you can just ring my doorbell anytime you want? I mean, why don't you just come on in and watch the Lakers game with me?
Well, I'm not much of a sports fan, but thank you.
Well, at least he got a nice addition to his ever-growing restraining order collection. Number 3, he really wanted to meet Stephen Hawking. Sheldon's often disrespectful and disparaging of Howard's career.
Howard, you go ahead and eat. This isn't gonna make any sense to you.
Sheldon, I have a working understanding of physics.
Yeah, good for you, and don't stop working on it.
So when Howard's asked to work with one of Sheldon's idols, he has the perfect leverage to get back at him. He doesn't hold back.
Are you familiar with the 12 labors of Hercules?
Of course.
You should be so lucky.
Yes, we all laugh when Sheldon enters the university's cafeteria wearing that maid's outfit. But Howard does take things a little far when he tasks Sheldon with cleaning his entire collection of belt buckles.
By the way, the little marks that look like water spots, I tend to stand too close to the urinal, so... What you're seeing there is splashback.
And we feel a twinge of sympathy for him when Bernadette jumps on the bandwagon to get out of spending time with Howard's mum. We wonder if Howard would have gone to all that trouble had he known that Sheldon would end up embarrassing himself in front of Hawking anyway.
I was thinking, oh gosh golly, I made a boo-boo. And I gave it to Stephen Hawking.
Number 2, Missy's cruel birthday prank. We imagine growing up with a brother like Sheldon wasn't easy, but it sounds like Georgie and Missy Cooper often left Sheldon feeling isolated.
It reminds me when my stupid brother and sister would build forts in the living room and wouldn't let me in. I hated that so much.
While the fort story is definitely sad, there's another incident from Sheldon's childhood that leaves us all choked up. He divulges why he hates celebrating his birthday, and his story makes our hearts sink.
When I was 6, they told me Batman was coming to my party. I waited by the door for hours. Closest thing to Batman I saw was when a robin flew into the window.
We can't help but picture little Sheldon Cooper, all dressed up in a cute bow tie, waiting for Batman to show up, while his sister and her friends watched and laughed. Just thinking about it is gut-wrenching.
You know, I hate that your sister and her friends used to torture you. What I hate even more is if I was there, I would have tortured you too.
We're glad he has a group of friends who come through and finally make his childhood dream come true. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. Sheldon interrupted. We certainly wouldn't want his head to explode.
You think a guy like that would have some kind of booze lackey?
All right, this is cruel. We better let him finish before his head explodes.
Will Wheaton tricks Sheldon into throwing the game. This marks the start of a Schrodinger's cat-style friendship.
Game over, moon pie.
I don't understand. Your grandmother's alive?
You catch on quick.
Whose water is it anyway? Sheldon's germophobia is no joke.
Sheldon, that's my water.
Oh, dear Lord!
That's not your water.
I know.
The story behind his 3 knocks. Who knew the origin of this quirk would be so heartbreaking?
I saw my father having relations with another woman.
That's awful.
I know. It's also why I never open a door without knocking 3 times.
Sheldon's stage fright goes viral. No one wants their embarrassing drunken antics shared online.
This couldn't be any more humiliating.
Give it a minute.
Now for the astronomers in the audience, get ready to see the dark side of the moon. And here's Uranus.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, his friends mess with his findings. One evening with Sheldon can drive you mad.
You could be the engineer who builds the equipment that puts us on the cover of magazines.
I could also be the engineer who builds the crossbow that kills Sheldon.
Yet the others agree to join him on a 3-month expedition to the North Pole. And to no one's surprise, we learn that Sheldon was insufferable the entire time.
We were looking for magnetic monopoles and not finding anything, and you were acting like an obnoxious giant dictator.
I thought we were going to be gentle with him.
That's why I added the tater.
Still, tampering with his data seems quite an extreme way to handle the inconvenience, especially as it could have left a huge mark on his credibility in the science world.
That's not a big deal. All you did was lie to me, destroy my dream, and humiliate me in front of the whole university. That, FYI, was sarcasm.
In fact, he feels so humiliated and betrayed that he runs home to Texas. None of his friends seem particularly remorseful, especially Leonard, who's more concerned with hooking up with Penny.
Howard, you and Raj go to Texas. I'll stay here with Penny in her apartment.
But you're not gonna go with them?
Well, you know, I gave you the snowflake and we were kissing and... Yeah, come on, I don't want to go to Texas.
It's no secret that Sheldon can be infuriating, yet they still agreed to go, so that's on them. This was just cruel.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.